Meanwhile, let's move on to Spurs, shall we, Jules? Because I'm interested about Kolo Muani, who I think a few years ago everyone would agree is one of the hottest prospects in European football. What has happened? I was going to say, how's he ended up at Spurs? But I didn't mean to quite put it that way.
Yeah, I mean, again, they've been looking for another forward for quite some time. And obviously, we know that they missed on some main targets, like Eze, obviously. And yet, Xavi Simons has arrived, didn't play at the weekend, but they just wanted another quite versatile forward that could play either as a 9 or wide, which Kolo Muani is. The deal for Kolo Muani to Juventus didn't happen because PSG and Juventus could not find an agreement. And Spurs thought, he's a good signing. It's not far. He takes the Eurostar. It's just across the channel. Let's go. And it's a loan fee, to be fair. So it's not a bad deal, I think, for Spurs. He's a good player. He's a good kid, really. Not the most clinical, I give you that. Not the most gifted technically too, but he started well at Juventus. Again, he can play in different positions. He runs and he can press, and he's got the right mentality. But I'm not sure how much him arriving at the club. And yeah, there's Richarlison and Solanke, and I can see him playing ahead of them too if he does better and if he takes his chances and stuff like that. I'm just not sure how much this moves the needles for Spurs in a huge season where they will be back in the Champions League, have quite a tough fixture list in that league phase, plus the league where, as we saw already against Bournemouth, they were so inoffensive. I'm not sure Kolo Muani, if you bring him instead of Richarlison in the team that lost to Bournemouth on Saturday, where they had 1 shot, 0 on target in the whole 90 minutes, that Kolo Muani changes this, you know? So I'm not sure this was the right profile, but at least they just have, again, another body.
But Jules, how much did PSG pay for him initially, back in the day?
Yeah, a lot, 75 million euros,
so
without bonuses.
So what's happened? Why has he not been able to fulfill that potential?
I don't think Luis Enrique really ever wanted him. He was very much a club, let's bring the Paris kids back to Paris because he's Paris born and bred. And that was the idea at the time. Kylian was still at the club and Kolo Muani and Mbappe are close friends. I think that played a part as well. And I think very quickly, Luis Enrique, and to be fair, everybody else, realized that he just could not do the things that Luis Enrique wanted from his number 9. And that's why very quickly he had a few games, he had a few opportunities and chances, didn't take them for obvious reasons because he was just not good enough for what Luis Enrique wanted his number 9 to do. Then he went on the bench and then he went on the transfer list, and then in January he moved because there was just no future for him at the club. And again, this was the same this summer. I think PSG could have done a move for him earlier, to go back to the point that we made about a few clubs that waited so late. But again, a lot of clubs who were interested in Kolo Muani, including Juventus, thought we're going to wait the last minute. And at the last minute, PSG will lower the expectation. PSG didn't want a strict loan. They wanted a loan with an obligation to buy or a permanent deal. But because they waited so long, when Spurs came with a loan offer, they said yes, because it was either that or he would have stayed and sit in the stands and then paying his wages for the next 6 months.
Let's take a look at some of the other notable transfers, shall we, that's happened over the last 24 hours. Remember, this is it. This is the last day you get to do any sort of dealings before the start of January. Let's take a look at some of those notable signings. We're just putting them all together. There you are.
Putting them all together.
Yep. Shaka, you sorted out my pronunciation of Piero
Hincapié.
Thank you very much. He's joined Arsenal. Jan Visa, of course, has made that move eventually to Newcastle. Lisa Penda has joined Juventus. Jadon Sancho and Harvey Elliott have both joined Aston Villa. Benjamin Pavard, meanwhile, has joined Marseille. Any of those you want to talk about, Craig? You look, I suppose, the 2 Villa signings.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously Harvey Elliott I think he's a very good player. Obviously, he was surplus at Liverpool. I mean, are we going to keep an eye on Jadon Sancho, see how he does? Because we seem to have been doing that every season. Now, if he's going to resurrect his career, and it seems Unai Emery taking in these loan players from Man United. He took Rashford last year. It kind of worked at times and not at others. But is that going to rejuvenate a Villa side that have started the season very flat? I'm not so sure. I think if you're a Villa fan, it's been a worrisome start to the season and a very disappointing and unexciting transfer window, if we're being honest.
Meanwhile, a penalty Juventus, Jules?
Yeah, I mean, I won't lie, I didn't see this one coming. For Juventus, who, as we said, wanted Kolo Muani, they already have Jonathan David and Vlahovic already there. They play with one striker, by the way. So now you add Openda. It's alone with an option to buy. How many number 9s do you want in your squad when you just play with one on the pitch? And yeah, of course, Openda, if you want, can play wide, but they also have wide players, but they play with wing backs. So even Zegrova, who just signed for them for Lille with 1 year left on his contract, I'm not sure where he fits in this system where they play with 2 inside 10s, where Yildiz and Conceição are those 2 guys for now. So it'll be interesting to see. But Vlahovic, David and Openda, that's 3 number 9s for just one place.
Let's take a look at some other notable transfers as we just tie a bow on today's transfer window. As we mentioned, Rasmus Højlund has gone to Napoli. Marcus Asensio has joined Fenerbahce. Rabiot back at Milan. Kanji has joined Inter. Chukwueze has made the move to Fulham. Meanwhile, Kevin joins Fulham as well. Boniface has made the move to Bremen.